Hi, thanks for watching Drawing for Kids, brought to you by the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center. Today we're going to be drawing these wonderful patterned tropical birds. So grab a pencil and a sheet of paper and let's get started. So just as a reminder to draw really large, we don't want this teeny tiny little bird on our page. That just would not be as interesting. So I want you to draw a great big kind of lemon-like shape, so kind of curved, almost like an eye but sideways. And then you can start drawing the wing. The back wing is going to be just a curved line. And then for the tail feather, they can be a little bit different depending on the bird, so you can see some different shapes here. Same for the beak. Sometimes birds have small beaks, sometimes they have large beaks. So you can see I have chosen one that is quite large, and then I have also drawn in a large eye with an oval in the middle there, and then just a little shape around its face to distinguish its face from the rest of its body. Then you can draw its little talons for its feet, and depending on if you want it to be standing perched on a tree branch or if you want it to be flying, it just kind of depends on how you would see that, or what you would see underneath it, or if you would even see its legs at all. Then you can start adding in some fun decorative feathers. So you can see here some different options for the top of its head, for its belly area, and then for its wings, both the tail feathers as well as the wings there on the side. Once you have your sketch of your bird drawn in, you can start with some tropical plants in the background. So again, we want to draw quite large. We don't want to have a lot of empty space in our background, so make sure that you really zoom in on the plants and have a nice variety. So if you want to, of course, you could look up some different varieties of tropical plants so that you are accurate, or you can also copy mine, or maybe you've got a lot of knowledge about tropical plants and you want to add your own in there. So do whatever you want there. Of course, it's your design, but hopefully here's some good examples to at least get you started. Now, you can use watercolors, crayons, colored pencils, markers, whatever you have on hand to color this in. We'll be adding color, and we're also going to be adding some pattern. So you can see here, I'm creating kind of a watercolor effect. If you don't have watercolors at home, check to see if you happen to have washable markers, because washable markers are water-based, which means you can kind of color in a little bit with some washable markers, and then take a wet paint brush and you can go over those areas to create a painterly effect, which can be really fun. So, or you can use anything you have around the house, of course. If you've got crayons or colored pencils, you can also just mix it up. You could do a watercolor for filling in the larger areas, and then you could draw on top of it for the patterns with colored pencils or something that has a little bit more of a finer tip, so that you are able to get some detail drawn in. So you can see how I am starting to layer in some colors here. I'm filling in my bird first because I want that to be the focal point here of my whole work of art. And then after that is done, again, I'm adding in patterns as I'm going, but then I can also start filling in my background. Notice how I'm doing a little bit of shading. I am going from maybe pressing, if you were using colored pencils, I could press down harder with the red and then kind of fade it out. Or if you're using something like watercolor, add a little bit more paint and then fade it out with more of your water. And that just creates a really nice transition from either dark to light, or from one color to another color. So now we can go ahead and start outlining it. You can outline your whole artwork with a marker if you want. I picked like a really dark blue, so it's actually not black, which is a little bit more unique than a traditional black outline. So once you have outlined everything, then you might want to go in with, your marker, and you can add a little bit more pattern and detail, and then you can also fill in your background. So figure out if it's easier to lightly color it with a crayon or do some kind of watercolor background. It's totally up to you how you want to go about filling in your background, and then of course you can add some fun patterns and other details. Thanks so much for watching today's drawing video. I hope that you have enjoyed it and created something very colorful and fun.